Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Subby here. So, we have our first tornado warning of the day. These storms are really starting to intensify just out ahead of the dry line. So, it looks like it's going to maybe just clip part of west central Missouri and northwest Cass. But want to give everybody kind of a heads up as we head into the 2 o'clock hour up here at Overland Park, Shawnee, Lee Summit, Blue Spring, Buckner, Oak Grove, as we have a tornado warning right now for northwestern Miami County and southwestern Johnson County in east central Kansas. So just want to give everybody kind of a heads up on that. I am going to likely go ahead and continue to just stay live as this line of storms continues to move off to the east. It is really trucking too. This thing is moving at about 45 miles per hour to the east. We're also seeing another additional line form out ahead of it from around Kansas City along I-70 down through Lee Summit and I-49. We'll be kind of watching these as they continue to move off to the east, more to the northeast really than what they're talking about going to the east. So like I said, this is likely gonna, if you're up there in the Belton Raymore area, I would go ahead and take your tornado precautions right now, because this thing is moving fast enough. It's going to be crossing the 49 in probably about 8 to 10 minutes right now. Hi Lucky, hi Janet, hi Melanie. So again, about an hour 15 minutes ago, we were taking a look at some of the current data that the weather balloons were actually sending up, and man, this atmosphere is really churning right now. We've got backing winds south southeast, and then up above us, about 5 to 8,000 feet above our heads, it's coming out of the southwest at around 80 miles per hour. So there's more of a spin in the atmosphere that's happening right now. So we're definitely going to be keeping a close eye on this here over the next few hours until this line can get past west central Missouri. But for those of you that did not catch my latest post, one of the big things that we were noticing, of course, because the ingredients were a little bit better here this afternoon because of the sunshine, we escaped a lot of the rain and thunderstorms. There's an area that includes most of west central Missouri, all the way up to Kirksville, all the way down to Paola, Kansas, that has a locally enhanced thunder or a tornado threat for our area. Now, of course, we were under a very small risk for tornadoes today, but we thought we were going to be under that blanket of rain and thunderstorm for most of the day. So now that the sun pops out, Mother Nature decides to up the ante a little bit for today. So we are under a tornado watch for Bates, Cass, Henry, Johnson, Pettis County. That could possibly extend down further to the south as the cold front continues to move through our area. Elizabeth, thank you so much for that super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. As far as percent chance is there for tornadoes, 5%, which is high. So it's not like there's going to be 100 tornadoes form along this line, but the conditions are more favorable now for that formation of a tornado. So we just need to stay weather aware. Overall percentage of tornado happening is, even in the most highest of days, is very, very low. So really, a percentage really doesn't give you a whole lot of information. When you're placed under a tornado watch, means that we need to stay weather aware, that the ingredients are there for a possible tornado, and we just need to stay weather aware and make sure we have multiple means to be able to receive watches, warnings, advisories as we go through the day. No, Alexandria, you don't have to worry about this pushing into Benton County. We're going to be waiting on more storms to form down here in southeast Kansas into Oklahoma, where they are expected to. And then as this cold front continues to push to the east, then we will start to get into, you know, probably more of west central Missouri in the middle of some of these thunderstorms. So I am going to pause that real quick. Let's take a look at, see where that circulation is. Looks like it's right on Highway 56. Right in this area. We got some strong winds as well. But it looks like right along 56 is where the center of circulation is right now. So it's going to be heading up toward, what is that, Johnson County International Airport. Gardner, Kansas, you need to be in your tornado safe spot. Thank you, Ashley. Yeah, the reason why it's Johnson County is what we just said. It's right here along 56 Highway is where the center of circulation is, and that is in Johnson County. Hi, Julia. Hi, Justin. Well, right now you're not under any kind of watch right now, Justin, for Vernon County, but you will likely be under some sort of watch as the later on into the afternoon. So it looks like just, in Olathe, I don't know if the sirens are going off in Olathe right now, but it's awfully close to Olathe. And again, it looked like right along 56 Highway in Johnson County. Of course, we're keeping an eye on that line out ahead of that dry line, going from Buckner down to Independence, Blue Springs, Lee Summit, watching for any intensification of these cells. But right now, west central Missouri is looking good. We do have some of our counties under a tornado watch. That's going to go on for the next 6 hours. So you guys get me for the next 6 hours here, unless it gets canceled up a little bit early. But that's going to be for Henry, Pettis, Johnson, Cass, and Bates County in Missouri. Hi, Amanda. Matt, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. I sure appreciate that. Matt Wareham, one of our big time supporters here at Subby's Weather Talk. That's awesome, Matt. Thank you very much. Now you know your weather radio works again. Well, I'm glad you're done because mine's sitting over here and it's not working. But we get horrible reception down here in the basement. Sometimes that one does not go off, so I have a feeling that's probably what it just doesn't have good enough the reception. So let's take a look at these winds in Gardner right now. So we've got, I don't see quite the circulation like we did a little bit ago, but regardless, we are looking at probably close to 60-mile-per-hour winds coming into Gardner, Kansas. And again, this is going to be on the Kansas side, but we're going to continue to watch for the possibility of this crossing the state line right around the Grandview, Martin City, Belton, Raymore area. So that's one of the reasons why I went ahead and went live, so that anybody, because we're looking at 2 o'clock now. Some people are starting to get off of their shifts here around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Everybody's going to be out on the road, and that's about the time frame that these storms could be approaching into west central Missouri. We've got 70-mile-per-hour possible winds right now as well along this little Boeing segment right here. So they dropped the tornado warning, so that's great news. So that circulation has ceased for right now. But now what we got to worry about are 70-mile-per-hour winds with that Boeing segment. Now remember what we learned last tornado event, that right up here in the bookends, north end and south end, we have to really watch for that potential of spin up tornadoes. It's just like a river when it makes a big bend, and you on both ends of that curve you get little eddies spin up. That's exactly what the atmosphere does. It's so fluid, it's just like water. So we'll be watching the north end, south end for a potential spin up tornado along this Boeing segment. And again, this line of storm just continues to intensify. Those of you up here in KC Metro, Smithville, Plattsburgh, Platte City, Leavenworth, they dropped you guys out of that slight risk about 2 hours ago and dropped it further south. Well, I think they're probably wishing they hadn't right now. So we do have a tornado vortex signature with a meso of 6, meaning how much rotation that system has. That's moderate, if not extremely high. We don't have to worry too much about the severe hail out of this right now. Maximum hail size sitting at 3/4 of an inch. And again, the biggest concern right now looks to be that Boeing segment right here, from DeSoto down to Olathe, Gardner, all the way down to Paola. You're getting ready to get hit as well. And of course, as this continues to move east, northeast, it's going to be affecting Belton, Raymore, Grandview, Hickman Mills, Raytown, Redbridge, Leewood, Overland Park, Lenexa. So very populated areas up here on the Johnson County side. Now, this particular segment that we're watching right now, guys, is not really going to be our threat here in west central Missouri. These cells down here in southeast Kansas are the ones that are going to continue to intensify and move into our area a little bit later in the afternoon. But again, we're really watching the north end and the south end as this comes across the state line for areas here in Cass County and southern Jackson County. We have a lot of viewers here in west central Missouri in those areas. They're highly populated. We want to make sure that they get the warnings that they need as this line continues to push to the east. Smithville, you guys are getting some torrential rains right now. Right along 435 from Platte City all the way down to Liberty, Claycomo. And keep in mind that while we're live, I know we had, from our last storm system, we had an influx of about 3,000 people into our room following us on YouTube. So for those of you that are new, just keep in mind that I've got National Weather Service up here on my screen right now from Kansas City. So it's almost like having another meteorologist in my back pocket. I can ask them questions. If I see something, I send reports into them, and I kind of follow what's going on up there on the Kansas side with other meteorologists and emergency managers as well. So that's always a great tool to have in your back pocket. Currently in Pleasant Hill, due to head to Clinton around 4 o'clock. So you still got a couple hours. And again, that's about the time frame that this line of storms is going to be making its way across the state line. So make sure you check radar before you head out, Brenda, because that could be right about the time that west central Missouri starts to get hit with some of these storms along this line. Sirens going off in Olathe. And the main reason why the sirens are going off is you're not under a tornado warning. But as you can see up here on your screen, if you hit that 70 mile per hour criteria, that puts it under a considerable damage tag. And most municipalities will go ahead and sound the sirens because 70 mile per hour winds or greater, that's life threatening. So it's just as dangerous as the EF0 tornado. That's the reason why they sound the sirens, even though you're not, I guess in a tornado warning per se. You're under a severe thunderstorm warning, but with those high winds, they go ahead and sound the sirens, which I think is a great thing. So again, anybody that had ball games tonight in west central Missouri, so far I've had, let me see here, I have had 5, 10, 18, I've had 19 requests on Facebook Messenger on ball games going on tonight, and then I've had 3 or 4 here in chat. So, and again, we're expecting this line of storms to be moving through our area between the 4 and 6 p.m. time frame. So it's going to be dumping likely quite a bit of rain. So I'm going to tell you that the chances of any ball games tonight are probably going to be pretty slim. Well, we got a lot of people in the stream right now. Looks like we got about 1,900 people watching on all the platforms right now. So appreciate you guys. I wasn't sure if I'd be getting really a whole lot of viewers since we're in the middle of the work day, but hi Gabe. Yeah, Johnson County, Warrensburg area is underneath tornado warning for about tornado watch for about the next 6 hours. And again, I'm expecting for this line to be affecting most of west central Missouri coming across the state line between the 4 to 6 p.m. time frame. With the way it looks, we do have a new tornado warning, guys. This is actually going to clip just north of Belton Raymore along I-49. So there's the edge of the polygon. It's on the north side of Belton. So let's see if I can catch the roads here. So that's 163. Let me get my bearings here. So there's 58 highway. So really, along 58 highway north of Belton, you guys are under a tornado warning. So anybody that is traveling north or southbound on I-49, really between Holmes Park, that's the corner of let's see here, I-49 and 435. You'll probably want to go ahead and hold up, maybe hold up here in say Northtown, Country Club Plaza, you know, maybe hang out 71 at a convenience store. Do not be driving between 435, 49 intersection all the way down to south of Belton Research. So we notice we still have a tornado vortex signature, meso of 6 right now. Let's take a look at velocity. It's really not all that impressive right now. Let me go down here to, that's not going to catch that very good. Trying to find a different radar site that might have a little bit better. Just not getting a good reading on this velocity scan right now. Let's go to base velocity. That's a little better. So it looks like the center of rotation is going to be right along West 151st Street. And again, it's going to be coming across 69 Highway as well. Looks like also another pretty good rotation up here off of 435 by Lake Corvera, Edwardsville. But right now we do have tornado warning for southeastern Johnson County in Kansas, northwestern Cass in west central Missouri, southwestern Jackson County in west central Missouri until 2:45. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Overland Park, moving east at 40. This is radar indicated. It is not confirmed as of right now. Let's go ahead. Let's see if we can put a well, I think they messed up on their polygon. If a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Overland Park, Overland Park is not even in a polygon. It's about 15 miles north. So, not real sure. That'd be, I guess, southern Overland Park, possibly. But that's where I'm kind of seeing. I'm seeing the circulation up here near Lake Rivera, Shawnee, Overland Park looks a lot better than the circulation down further south. So let's do this. I'm going to bring up my other software, see if it says anything differently here. So this actually will determine where the rotation tracks are. So rotation tracks can be caused by possibility of hail, because you have to have mesocyclone, you have to have some spin, strong updrafts for hail to form. It could also mean a possible tornado as well. But look at this up here. There we go. Now we have a severe thunderstorm warning for that area. I don't know, guys. I think they've got something messed up. I'm going to get a hold of National Weather Service right now. Thanks, Rip, for the super sticker. Appreciate that. And I'm having a really hard time seeing any kind of rotation on this side of the Pleasant Hill radar site. So that's what's really confusing right now. Regardless, I would say Martin City, Grandview, North Belton, North Raymore, along 470, 435, in between, say, Belton and Holmes Park. I had not got a response yet from the National Weather Service, but you know, really, regardless, we've got a line of 70 mile per hour possible winds, as well as possible circulation. If you take a look at the severe thunderstorm warning, there is a tornado possible tag in that entire area. Look how big this severe thunderstorm warning is. It goes from just south of Plattsburgh over to Richmond, down to Oak Grove, down just north of Harrisonville, all the way back into the Kansas side. So a very large severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. And you guys know how I feel about having a severe thunderstorm warning with the severe possible tag. We kind of learned that the hard way back on the 19th of May. you go ahead and take your tornado precautions if it is feasible. Just go ahead and stay away from windows, center part of your house, lowest portion of your floor. That way you're protected regardless. But until we get some wording to kind of clarify that from the National Weather Service, we've got really two areas of rotation. One up here just on the south side of Kansas City. This is going to be Shawnee Heights, Armourdale, Santa Fe. And again, this is going to be on the south side of Kansas City, southwest of Kansas City. We have rotation. And then, of course, we have this unconfirmed right now tornado warning that includes Grandview, Hickman Mills, Lee Summit right now, and the north side of Belton. I am just not getting very good readings on any of this, whether using base velocity, high resolution velocity, using my other program here. It's just not showing any rotation at all, hardly, with this cell that is producing a tornado warning. So to me, it looks like it's more concentrated up here in the Overland Park, Leawood, Mission, Kansas area, southwest of Kansas City. But hi, Christina. You've got sirens in Lee Summit. Well, you should have sirens in Lee Summit with accordance to the polygon, but I'm not seeing any response yet from the National Weather Service. But I'm not seeing anything there. But you still need to go ahead and respect the polygon, as we say. Go to your safe spot. But velocity radar is not showing anything right now as far as velocity. It's just like an open hole here west of the radar. Whether that could be maybe an error on the radar. It could be NextRad could be giving us a hard time right now. For all I know, you notice how clear it is over here on the west side of the radar. There's nothing there on velocity scan. So we still need to respect the polygon. If you're north side of Belton, north side of Raymore, Lee Summit, Hickman Mills, Grandview, along 150 from Martin City over to Belton, or over to 291 in that area, you guys need to be in your tornado safe spot. Do not be out there on the highways on 49 between Holmes Park and Belton. Do not be on the highway right now. You have that cell moving right into your area. A little bit of rotation is starting to pick up near Redbridge. Right in this area right now. On the north side of that polygon. So Cedar Niles. I do not know where Cedar Niles is. Cedar 9, that is in Spring Hill, Olathe, Kansas, Paola, Kansas. Looked like they might have, from law enforcement, had a touchdown of a tornado. 207th. 207th Cedar Niles. Well, I see him right now. I'm supposed to ask you for a gift you're supposed to give me.
It's in my car. I'll go over.
Oh, it's in his car. Yeah, Marky came in on his day off. Knew we had some severe weather. Freeman, Peculiar. You're south right now in Peculiar. You guys are under that severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. So right now you're okay. you're okay right now. Those cells are still over here on the Kansas side. Got down power lines 151st and Flum. Now, one thing I am seeing, you guys know we talk about this a lot. You guys see this little area right here? That cloud looking return from radar? That's the outflow. That means that rain cooled air is racing out ahead of this line, and that's what's going to weaken this line of storms a little bit. That's rain cooled air, so those thunderstorms aren't sucking in that warm moist air into that line, feeding it. So we could start seeing a weakening of thunderstorms really all the way down south of Mound City. So maybe that's some good news, that this line of storms might weaken a little bit before it crosses the state line into west central Missouri, but we're just going to have to wait and see how this works. We still have 21 minutes left of the radar indicated tornado warning. See if there's an update. At 2:07, severe thunderstorm located. No, wait, this severe thunderstorm warning. Sorry about that. No update yet. Still from 2:07. It's until 2:45. We have a new tornado warning coming up by state line. There it is. So this is going to include Independence, Raytown, Blue Springs, Green Valley, Buckner, Sibley. You guys are underneath a tornado warning. If any teachers are finishing up there at Ozark Trail up in Independence, make sure that if you are having summer school, that you guys go to your tornado safe spot. Any summer school still in session here at 225 in this polygon, we are starting to see right here is going to be the rotation right now. So again, Raytown, Independence, Blue Spring, Buckner along 24 highway. We've got, that is actually going to be oh my goodness. So I don't even know what to say now. I got my little present. I will show you guys here in a minute. But and again, Ozark Trail School. You guys are right up here at 291 and 24 highway. You guys are right up here. You guys are in that polygon. Make sure everybody is taking cover there at Ozark Trail, and of course any school that still might be in session. Kansas City Zoo is also under that. Kansas VA. We've got of course again Independence along 40 highway, 291 from Courtney all the way down, really all the way down to St. Luke's there at 470. Do not be driving along 470. Right here is where we're going to see the rotation, is right here. On velocity map, it's right here. We also have another rotation just south of there. We might be dealing with 2 spin-ups. So definitely be staying weather aware as this line of storms continue to move in across the state line. So, um, Christina got me a gift. I'm humbled. Not everybody would do something like this for subby, but she had got my very own subby's weather rock. So I will be basing the forecast for the Calhoun area next week based on subby's weather rock. So Christina, be ready for your forecast. Hopefully you will not hear me say that the weather rock is gone, because that could be a bad sign. So let's do a little recap here, guys. So the reason why we are live right now, and actually I am going to so this is up here where a lot of my family lives up here. So I want to make sure everybody is aware of what's going on up here in the KC area over on the Kansas side. So we want to watch this right down here as well. I know this is just absolutely horrible on radar right now on the velocity side, but I'm seeing a little bit of an inflow notch. An inflow notch is going to be, say, like right in here where you see the warm moist air kind of feeding into here a little bit. Even though we do have that little outflow boundary, we still have a little bit of the inflow notch. So if you're in Belton, Raymore, you guys were even up here, let's see, what is that? That's Prospect Avenue that runs north and south. Cleveland Avenue that runs north and south on the west side of the towns, and I-49. You guys are not in the polygon per se, but you're in the severe thunderstorm warning with tornado possible tag. So just be prepared as this line continues to move off to the east-northeast. Even though you're not in that polygon, you are in a severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado possible tag. So again, I always preach that if you're under a tornado warning, or if you're under a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag, that you go ahead and take your tornado precautions. That's what I've always talked about and I preached. So again, even though we have that little outflow boundary, still showing a little bit of a inflow here. I'm going to move it on up here because this is really looking horrible. We have a very strong area of rotation right near Leeds going across I-70. Looked like it just skipped up across 40 highway. 40 highway and 435 right at that intersection. That's where we're seeing it skipped one scene up on velocity scan, but very good rotation up here along I-70 just north of Leeds, and it's going to be moving on up into the Independence area. And again, those of you up there, Ozark Trail, hopefully you're listening. If you guys still have summer school, you guys need to make sure everybody gets in their tornado safe spot. So we still have that considerable damage threat assessment, tornado possible tag. So you're likely going to be hearing a lot of sirens in this area, either because of a tornado warning or because of a severe thunderstorm warning with 70-mile-per-hour winds or greater associated with this line of storms. Martin City tornado sirens going off. Yeah, Martin City is getting ready. You have that line of storms coming right in on you. And of course, what's the scary part about this is that it's going into very populated areas up on the south side of Kansas City. Independence, coming right up on Independence right now. I don't know if it touched down at Independence. They have not had any confirmation through the National Weather Service. Let's take a look at coalition coefficient right now. Well, I tell you what, there could be a little bit of a debris signature right here, just coming into Independence. It's a little abnormal looking right now. We might have had a touchdown just on the southwest side of Independence. Still waiting to see if we get any confirmation on that. So again, Martin City, Grandview, Hickman Mills, Red Bridge, I-49 from Holmes Park down through Belton. You guys need to get off of that stretch of highway as this line moves through. So we did have a semi blown over on I-435 southbound past Raytown Road. Know about Clinton. Clinton fine. Don't worry about Clinton right now. We're good in Clinton. This is all up in Kansas City. So if you live in Clinton, you guys are fine. You can rest easy. Warrensburg, you guys can rest easy. Harrisonville, you guys can rest easy. Butler, Nevada, Osceola, you guys can all rest easy. We're dealing with these storms up here in the Lee Summit, Belton, Raymore, Cass County, Jackson County, right here in west central Missouri. This is where the storms are the strongest right now. This entire line of storms will continue to strengthen along this cold front and will be moving into west central Missouri probably between the 4 to 6 p.m. time frame. So you're in Belton, you've got this line of storms coming up. Be watching this area right in here. We've got some 70-mile-per-hour winds just southwest of Aubrey that is going to be crossing the state line here probably momentarily. So we'll be watching that. A little bit of the inflow notch right along the edge there. So Hector at American Red Cross talked about that they are actually too close to the tornado, so they are in Raytown. They are going to be go ahead and taking cover in Raytown as well. So we have, looks like another, right up here in Independence, what I'm looking at, we got another nice rotation right through the heart of Independence right now. And that's the scary part. This is a very highly populated area. See if we can see anything on coalition coefficient. And for those of you that don't know what coalition coefficient is, if you can just imagine a candy jar filled with all different types of marbles, okay, and they're all the same size, those are like raindrops. And then throw in, say, a couple of small snack size Kit Kats and little Snickers snack size, and you shake it all up. What this radar can do, it actually measures the size of the marbles and the candy bars, and obviously the candy bars are a lot larger, and that's what coalition coefficient can pick up, those size differences. And that's going to be either hail or that's going to be debris, what we call a debris ball. That means the tornado's on the ground and it's actually picking up debris and lofting it up into the air anywhere between 12 to 18,000 feet above our heads. So that's the reason why we use this particular radar sometimes. So nothing is necessarily sticking out real strong, thank goodness, in Independence as far as any kind of debris signature. But we got a very strong rotation right here. And that's right over East Independence. And what's happening, you got this inflow that's coming in this way. And then it continues to wrap around, and right in here is where you would expect to see the tornado. And that's exactly where we have that rotation sitting at right now. No, Hannah. Clinton's not under anything for tornadoes coming. Let's take a look at Buckner. So Buckner is right along 24 highway. And of course you're in the tornado polygon right now. So obviously we're watching very closely this particular area right here. This little notch right now. Looks like it probably stayed just to the west, just to the north of Buckner. But you always want to pay attention. Sometimes these things don't follow the law of science. Sometimes they do a little bit of a right turn. And especially with the way that this is leaning, you know, you get that centrifugal force. Sometimes they go more east or maybe a little bit of a right turn. So stay in your tornado safe spot in Buckner. We still have another, okay, we have an observed tornado. This is a particularly dangerous situation right now. We have a tornado on the ground in Independence, and it is doing damage as it is observed. And this is what you call a PDS tornado warning, meaning that it is observed and it is in very populated areas. So this is not in west central Missouri in the counties that we cover. This is up in Independence, Missouri. So we definitely, anybody in that area, Buckner, and again, I hope Ozark Trail along 291 and 24 highway, you guys were taking your tornado precautions. So we have a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located near Raytown, moving east at 45. This is a particularly dangerous situation. This is a very large tornado that is on the ground in Independence right now. So Independence, Lee Summit, Blue Springs, Raytown, Green Valley, Sugar Creek, Buckner, Courtney, Lake Tapawingo, Sibley, and Levacy. You guys need to be underground right now. If you're in a mobile home in Buckner, you need to be out of the mobile home. Do not be staying in this mobile home when we have a confirmed large dangerous tornado on the ground. Yeah, Catherine. 24 and 291. That's right at that was at Ozark Trail School. That is 20 or 291 and 24 highway. So it had already passed that location, and of course that was Ozark Trail School. Want to make sure we gave them plenty of notice. So hopefully they got under cover before that came through. We're going to take a look at coalition coefficient again. So it does look like we have a little bit of a CC drop. That is right along 24 highway, right before Ripley. So that is right there. We do have a CC drop, meaning that this tornado does have debris that is being lofted into the air. So, very dangerous situation ongoing up there near Independence right now. Right now, it is east of Independence. This is going to be, again, this is going to be heading toward Buckner. So if you're in Buckner, you need to be in your tornado safe spot. This is right over Ripley. Now, this is east of Independence along 24 highway. This is actually about a mile and a half east of eastern Independence on 24 highway. Okay, so they have dropped the tornado tag that was for Belton, Cass County. They have dropped that tornado warning now. It's still under a severe thunderstorm warning with 70 mile per hour considerable wind, as well as a tornado possible tag. Also got a couple little cells popping up on the east side of Warrensburg, Johnson County on the Missouri side. We'll be watching them to see if they're going to be strengthening any. They're pretty far away from the dry line, so likely they'll probably end up fizzling out, but we'll keep a good eye on that. The tornado, oh yeah, we've already answered that there for you, Catherine. So yeah, as far as Buckner goes, it's coming right down 24 highway right now. It's going to come awfully close to Buckner. So we'll continue to watch. Let's do a little recap here, guys. So over the next couple of hours, we're going to have this dry line that's going to be pushing through west central Missouri. We are under a tornado watch for the next few hours for Bates, Henry, Pettis, Johnson, and Cass County. in west central Missouri. So um, the tornado threat is not like extremely high. It's just some of these ingredients that's going on this afternoon. We had a little bit of sunshine, dew points in the 70s. So we've got a lot of ingredients there that could provide a focus for some stronger storms this afternoon. We're likely still a couple hours away from, for most of us here in west central Missouri, of seeing any thunderstorms. We went live mainly because of Cass County up here, one of the counties that we cover here in west central Missouri. Belton, Raymore, Peculiar area, you guys are under a severe thunderstorm warning for the next 12 minutes for tornado possible tag, 70-mile-per-hour winds. So definitely keep that in mind. If you have a basement, if you're at home, go ahead and go to the basement. Go ahead. You only got another 12-15 minutes, and we'll see what the storm does. Just make sure you're staying away from windows and kind of stay in the middle part of the building, away from windows. So, and again, we got reports of several semis being blown over along 635, 435. We just have one tornado warning left, and this is the one that is coming awfully close to Buckner, heading east on 24 highway. This is going to be just east of Independence. Take a look up here. Anything from National Weather Service, so don't see any update from them either. So really what we're going to be doing, we're going to be watching. I'm not seeing much of a debris signature right now associated with this cell up here along 24 highway near Buckner. Let me check over here on velocity. We still have a little bit. Might be just north of Buckner by the time it gets up on 24 highway, which is good news. But still, velocity radar is it is not working very well. I've tried all the different radar sites. It looked like it almost has a dead area in that velocity radar from NexRad up at Pleasant Hill for whatever reason. So let me go down through chat here. Let me kind of scroll up here just a little bit, try to get your questions answered. And that's a good thing. They have Church and Dwight in Harrisonville in shelter. That's good. That's good because they still are under. They're just south of the polygon for 70-mile-per-hour winds. So you're still going to get hit here in about another 15-20 minutes. We'll time that out here in just a moment. So still showing a rotation up here along 24 highway. See if it's still confirmed. Yeah, it's still observed. 241 10 minutes ago was located over Independence, so they have not updated this here over the last 10 minutes. So I'm assuming they're going to do an update here pretty quick. And again, that is a particularly dangerous situation, a PDS warning. That is very that's the highest of warnings, guys. When you've got a PDS, there's one higher than that called the tornado emergency, but we're still serious, and I still think Buckner is under the gun right now. We've got that circulation just on the west side of Buckner along 24 highway right now. There we go. That's a little bit better picture right now. Right over 24 highway. Right over Buckner. So, anybody in that area in Buckner, Levacy, you're going to be under the gun. This is going to be right along 24 highway, guys. See if we've got a coalition coefficient right now. The good news is that I'm not seeing much of a debris signature on coalition coefficient right now over Buckner. That's good news, but still, we're still under a PDS tornado warning. Looks like that goes on another 6 minutes. We'll see what they're going to do. Sibley and Levacy, you guys are next in line. Another 5 more minutes, we'll see what the National Weather Service is going to do. Still strong rotation associated with that cell. So we do have a new, my goodness, look at the size of that thing. We got a new severe thunderstorm warning for northern Cass, northwest Johnson County. And then, of course, it goes on up through, let's say that's Lafayette County. This is where that polygon is. It's hard to see with everything we've got going on. I'm just going to outline it for you. Very large severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag, 70-mile-per-hour winds. We do have a new tornado warning. And of course, this is all up north. We're still a couple hours away from getting any thunderstorms here in west central Missouri. Make sure you guys understand that. But we have a new tornado warning that's going to be going out for our friends in Oric, Richmond, Lexington, Hardin, which happens to be our Director of Emergency Management's last name. It was named after his 5th generation grandfather. I don't know if it was or not, but anyway. But we do have, it is radar indicated now, which is good news. That means it's likely not on the ground right now. This is going to be for southeastern Clay, southern Ray, northwestern Lafayette, northeastern Jackson County. So a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Sibley or over Buckner, moving east at 45 miles per hour. So Richmond, Lexington, Buckner, Oric, Wellington, Hardin, Henrietta, Sibley, Levacy, Napoleon, Camden, and Fleming are all in the path of this cell. I'm trying to get a lot of your questions, guys, and I think I just answered them here just a second ago. We're going to go through this again here in just a second. If you could help me with sprayer fittings later, though. Oh, Overbay. I'd be more than happy to meet you down at Benware Tractor and Automotive in Clinton. And I can help you out with sprayer fittings, my friend. I'd do that for you. So let's go ahead and let me put this on one screen. Let's go ahead and kind of do a brief recap for us here in West Central Missouri. So I am continuing watching this little cell that is just over Knob Noster right now along 50 Highway. It's just a little guy out there all by himself, but these are always ones that I keep a close watch on. If they should happen to interact with an outflow boundary from, say, leftover storms from this morning, sometimes they can kind of blow up, sometimes they fizzle out, but keeping a very close eye on this as it continues to move into Pettis County. But we do have a tornado watch out for Cass, Johnson, Pettis, Henry, and Bates County here in West Central Missouri for the next few hours. This line of storms is going to continue to move east with the individual cells moving northeast. So it's going to take a little while for this line of storms to get to us here in West Central Missouri. Obviously, Cass County is going to get hit first, and then we've got Bates County, and then later on Vernon County, since they're on the southern end of this line, and then work its way across West Central Missouri. So for most of us in Bates, Henry, Johnson, Pettis, Benton, St. Clair, it's going to be a couple hours before we see any of these storms. So just want to let you guys know we're fine. We had a tornado warning that included parts of Cass County up around Belton, Raymore area. That's one of the reasons why I went live, to make sure, because we're heading into the time frame now between 3 and 5 p.m. where everybody is going to be heading home. We have a lot of commuters that go up into the Kansas City area for work and to business, and then they're going to be driving home. So we want to make sure that we keep them up to date on what is going on here in West Central Missouri, as well as the Kansas City metro area, since they're going to be out there on the roads traveling back home. So we have a lot of schools that are going to be let out for summer school, so I want to make sure they are all safe and they're aware. I appreciate we had a couple schools this morning that had our round table from last night up on their whiteboard, and they sent some pictures. So they were teaching their summer school kids in science about the weather, and they were utilizing our roundtable from last night. So thank you very much. If you should happen to be on the stream for utilizing that, that's awesome. Daniel, he's a public worker for Pleasant Hill in Cass County, a few miles north of town. Not low-hanging clouds. Well, you are going to see a lot of low-hanging clouds if you're if you're north of Pleasant Hill right now. You're looking toward this line of storms up here near Lee Summit right now. You are under a severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible tag, 70-mile-per-hour wind. So this line is still packing a punch. But along with that, we have a very, very low cloud base. What that means is I can take a look at, if you guys see me look at SKU-T models, it shows me where the LCL level is. And the LCL level is the liquid condensation level. That's where clouds are going to form. And if it's low to the surface, I can see that. And what happens when that cloud base is low to the ground means you will get a lot of scud, which a lot of times those are actually called in for possible tornadoes, but they're not circulating. But you will see a lot of low-hanging clouds. You'll see clouds forming from the ground up because you have rising air, and if you put a camera on it and put it in fast mode, you can actually see clouds forming near the ground and working their way all the way up to the clouds. So do be prepared to see a lot of ugly, scary looking scud clouds. But right now, we just have 70-mile-per-hour winds is our biggest threat with these cells up here in Cass and Jackson County right now. Independence and Raytown. Yeah, you guys are sitting good, Independence and Raytown right now. So it's raining. You got very heavy rains, probably 3/4 to an inch of rain an hour rates right now, Independence and Raytown. But the worst is past you now. So the worst is past Raytown and Independence. So you're still under that severe thunderstorm warning, but the worst of this is now past you. But you have to remember that these cells are actually moving to the northeast, so you're going to be watching for any other cells down here, down toward Redbridge, Martin City, Hickman Mills, as they continue to move off to the northeast. So if this was just moving due east, that'd be a no-brainer. But since the line is moving east and the cells are moving northeast, you have to kind of be careful. Make sure nothing to your southwest is moving up your area. Buckner, I believe it is now past Buckner. See if we can see. Yeah, looked like it's over here northwest of Wellington. This is going to be southeast of Oric. So Buckner, you're sitting okay right now. You're still under the polygon, so make sure respect it. Stay in your tornado safe spot. So, we've got a lot of ugly clouds out there, scary looking clouds. Show you guys one picture here real quick. So that's what you're likely seeing out ahead of this line. Oh, okay, Chris. Let me jump over there. Chris said he posted some on our Henry County Emergency Management page up there in that area. Hey, Chris, where did you post it on Slack at? Yes, Buckner's good right now. Buckner is good. You're still under that tornado warning, but the rotation is now east of Buckner. Oh, in the EX room. That was yours, Chris. Okay. Yep, I got you. I was thinking that was oh yeah, I see you now, Chris. I got you. So let's take a look at some of these pictures Chris posted. This was from Blue Springs, Missouri. Wow. Great pics. No wonder everybody seemed a little concerned when those clouds rolled through. Thanks so much, Chris. I appreciate that. So let's start up here real quick and take a look at velocity. Looked like right down around Camden. This will be north of Wellington, north of 24 Highway. It's going to be coming awfully close to Lexington, Henrietta, and Richmond. You three probably need to go ahead, make sure you're in your tornado safe spot. But of course, this is well east of Independence and Buckner along 24 Highway. Now for the rest of us here in west central Missouri, of course, I'm still watching this little cell. It's a little guy, and it's over here in northeast Johnson County, northwest Pettis County, and it started off really small, about the same size as this guy, and it continued just kind of feed along itself. I'm keeping close watch on it. It's not special weather statement on it. There's not a severe thunderstorm warning on it, but just watching for any intensification of that cell. Now, we do have thunderstorms that are coming into Cass County. It's going to be affecting Harrisonville here in just a matter of a minute or two. Right now, Harrisonville is not under a severe thunderstorm warning. Neither is Bates County. So here over the next hour, we're going to see this line of storms move into west central Missouri. And we're going to continue to monitor this line of storm for any intensification, a possible warning, as we have a tornado watch currently for Cass County, Bates County, Henry County, Johnson County, Missouri, and Pettis County for the next few hours. And we'll just have to see how these cells interact with the atmosphere. We have a lot more cells all the way down here into southeast Kansas as well as Oklahoma. Now, and again, remember the tornado threat was very small starting off today. However, since some of the area was actually, we saw some sunshine today, temperatures got up into the 80s, and we had dew points in the upper 70s. So we kind of noticed this afternoon that the tornado threat was really starting to ramp up a little bit as we went into the early afternoon hours. And so that's exactly the reason why they issued this tornado watch. Now, as we go later into the afternoon, into the early evening, in all likelihood, most of this area left down here, Vernon County, St. Clair, Benton County, down through Springfield, I have a feeling it will be more of a severe thunderstorm type of atmosphere. Strong straight line winds, maybe a little bit of hail, just an outside threat for a spin up tornado. But I think as we go through the afternoon, the biggest threats is going to remain in that tornado watch box. So we'll continue to monitor this line of storms here over the next couple hours. And again, it is really starting to kind of form more of a linear style complex where, you know, really the biggest threat is going to be those little spin ups that we'll be watching for. So again, that part of that line of storms is coming through Cass County right now, from all along 49 Highway from Belton Raymore down to Harrisonville. So we're keeping a close eye on that. No warning is out for this for Harrisonville. Belton Raymore area, you guys are still under that severe thunderstorm warning for the next 33 minutes for the potential of seeing some winds in excess of 70 miles per hour. We're also starting to see a few pop-up thunderstorms. One here along 13 Highway just north of Clinton. We also have another one down here in southeast Henry County. So, and then one up here just northeast of Leeton as well. So we'll be watching these cells to see if they intensify. I think they're too far away from the dry line to pose much of an issue or a problem. but we'll continue to monitor them here over the next few minutes. So going through all of our questions here in chat, and I appreciate everybody being on. Thank you guys for the super chat, super stickers on YouTube. That was awesome. Thank you for your support. We've got a lot of people right now in our streams right now. So looks like all of our streams combined, we have about 1,800 people in our stream. So I appreciate everybody being on. And we'll continue to watch for any strengthening of this line here over the next few minutes. Let's take a look at that Lexington storm again. Let's put it on velocity and see what we've got. So yeah, just northwest of Lexington. Looks like this is going to be right along 13 Highway near Henrietta. You guys are still under that tornado warning. We still have rotation here on radar. So definitely be watching this area right along 13 Highway. See if we see any debris. There might even be a little bit of rotation down here right along the river as well, just west of Lexington. This is still radar indicated. Nobody has actually seen it on the ground yet, so but it's very, very broad. If you guys can see here how broad the greens and the reds are, that's very broad circulation. You don't have that real tight couplet. So I'm not all that sold on that right now. But right now, as long as the polygon is still up, you still respect the polygon. Stay in your tornado safe spot. And again, if this rotation doesn't tighten up any, there's a possibility they may cancel that tornado warning a little bit early. Yeah, I can see we're still very broad circulation right now. So, but still stay in your tornado safe spot. Hi Kelsey, Independence is looking good right now. The threat is off to your east. Yeah, Kylie. She acts there's a lot of pressure over Uric. There is a lot of pressure over Uric. A lot of pressure. Right over west central Missouri right now. That's one of the reasons why we had talked about the anybody with migraines, aches and pains, arthritis, anybody that has that type of ailments. We talked about it this morning. Need to start taking some proactive Tylenol, ibuprofen, because it's gonna affect us all the way through tomorrow. Not necessarily right now, Chris. When you're sitting here looking at it, it's very, very broad. So let me put this on two of them here. So here's your radar and here's your circulation. This is very broad rotation right now. It's not that tight couplet. So if this was a tight rotation, that would be right in here. So likely would not be rain wrapped. You would likely see it. When it gets rain wrapped is when you get that circulation back in here in the middle of the rain. And sometimes it's very hard to see with the naked eye. It's hard to see on radar. But if you go over to velocity radar, you can see it really well. So again, very broad rotation right now in Lexington. You're still under 12 minutes left on the tornado warning. But again, strong winds, straight line winds, but still not seeing real tight circulation, very broad rotation right now, which that's good news. Hi, Kevin. So yeah, we'll go over again. We've got tornado watch for Cass, Johnson, Missouri, Pettis, Henry, and Bates County. And what will likely happen, this line of storms, most of us, with the exception of Cass County, we're still an hour or two out from this line to make its way into our area. We're expecting a lot more storms down here in southeast Kansas, where they do have a severe thunderstorm watch out right now. And I think as we go through the afternoon, early evening, I'd say most of us right here are likely going to be probably included in a watch, probably a severe thunderstorm watch, as this line moves through west central Missouri, with the biggest threat just being strong straight line winds. Some of these winds could approach up to 70 miles per hour, so they could be significant straight line winds. But we're just going to have to wait to see as this line continues to form and move into west central Missouri here over the next couple hours or so. Cass County right now is getting hit with these thunderstorms. Bates County and Cass County will get hit with this little cluster right here over the next 30 minutes or so. And then we're going to be waiting for this line of storms that stretches all the way down into Texas to move up into west central Missouri. So again, it's the way this system is moving. The cold front is moving east and with the dry line, but yet the individual cells are moving northeast. So it takes a while for this to get over to our neck of the woods. So they did go ahead and cancel that tornado warning. That was including Richmond and Lexington. Look at this little cell up here now. It's up here near Concordia right now. It's got a little hail core right around Emma. Got a little bit of rotation here near Dunksburg, which is just east of Ralph and Martha Perry Memorial Conservation Area. A little bit of rotation right there. That is what's causing that hail core to form. So you have to have very strong updrafts in order for hail to form. And of course that's what we're seeing here, very broad right now. But again, that's one of the reasons why we keep a very close eye on these little cells out ahead of the dry line. They could interact with a possible outflow boundary from this morning thunderstorm. They can interact in several different ways. So we keep a close eye on those little individual cells. Let's kind of bring this out just a little bit here, guys. Let me switch radar. Let you guys kind of see what we got going on. So, of course, that line of storms from Chillicothe all the way down through Kansas, Oklahoma, and into Texas. And we have severe thunderstorm warnings and special weather statements all up and down this line. So far here in Clinton, my weather rock is dry. As you guys can see, that's my official forecast rock. This is just going to be for the city of Calhoun and surrounding areas. So again, we have a few isolated thunderstorms popping up from Hughesville, Knob-Noster, Windsor. You have a little thunderstorm right over Windsor right now. Leesville and down just east of Deepwater right now. So again, these are not severe. They're just little thunderstorms that are popping up. We'll be keeping a close eye on them as they move over into Benton and Pettis County. Let's take a look at we got another severe thunderstorm warning up here. This is going to be for Chillicothe, Trenton, Chula. You guys are in that. 60-mile-per-hour winds possible. So that little cell just north of Windsor, starting to get a little bit of a hail core. This is going to be right along 52 Highway. It's going to be looks like probably up there near Green Ridge here in about another 5 more minutes. Could see some small pea-sized hail out of this little cell. We'll continue to watch it as it continues to come across Pettis County. Hi Kylie, do you think Uric will have any tornadoes or just severe thunderstorms later? Well, our tornado threat, even being under a tornado watch, is very low. Just some of the conditions were they're still out there. It's really muggy out there. We probably have, let's see what the current dew point is here at the station. So currently right now we have 85 degrees out there. Feels like 92. We have a dew point of 73.7. So very, very ripe out there for thunderstorm development. So that's one of the main reasons, because we jumped up about 5 degrees in temperature. We jumped up about 6, 7 degrees in dew point, according to what a lot of the data said we were going to be this afternoon. The threat for tornadoes did increase enough for them to go ahead and put out a tornado watch for some of our counties here in west central Missouri. But notice that they, I have a feeling as this line continues to fill and finally work its way east, I'd say we're likely going to be in a more severe thunderstorm criteria. All right, guys, sorry about that. I was on the phone, got a phone call here. So we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that is going to include northern Johnson County, and that's going to be including the towns of Knob Noster and Warrensburg. That is actually going to be, of course, for this line that eventually is going to be moving over into the Johnson County line. And then we will continue to see what happens to this line as it continues to move east. Notice there's been a big influx of cells that has developed just east of a Higginsville, Warrensburg, Clinton line, right along 13 Highway, east of that, from Marshall down to Pettis County, just west of Sedalia, and then all the way down to H.O. Bartle Scout Reservation. So looks like a secondary line is setting up in parts of Benton and Pettis County right now. We'll continue to monitor these cells. They are not severe right now, but again, we're going to keep a very close eye on these cells as we go through the afternoon. We even have some cells developing all the way down here toward Springfield. So we got a little bit of a boundary setting up here from Marshall down to Sedalia, Windsor, and all the way down to Springfield right now. So again, we got a new severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds. It does have a tornado possible tag associated with this. It is going to be affecting Pleasant Hill as well as the northern half of Johnson County, including Warrensburg and Knob Noster. Holden, Chehaui, Leeton, Centerview, you guys are not included in this severe thunderstorm warning as of yet. We'll continue to monitor these cells down here to the south. So I'm still seeing a little bit of an outflow boundary that is setting up right here ahead of the line, and that's good news. That helps. That actually kind of helps weaken the storm just a little bit, because that outflow boundary is made up of rain-cooled air, and so those storms start to kind of choke themselves out just a little bit. They can't get that warm, moist air in to feed into that line. So that is good news, if we have any good news, as far as for this line down here to the south. Some of these cells are coming into Bates County as well. They are not severe warned, but we'll be keeping a close eye as they continue to march up to the northeast, clipping northwest Bates County, and then going back into Harrisonville and Cass County area. Another pretty little robust little storm down here in southern Benton County. It actually has a little bit of a hail core with it. It's going to be moving up into Warsaw here over the next 10-15 minutes and crossing 65 highway. And again, you might get maybe some small pea-sized hail associated with this. So still keeping a good eye on this cell, as well as several others along this line. Looks like they did go ahead and issue another one. This one here is not for West Central Missouri, but it's for Carroll and Saline County. So, and that's actually for that one cell we originally started watching here near Sweet Springs. It was all the way down here in near Henry County, near Windsor, and it blossomed into a severe thunderstorm warning with some hail as a threat with this cell heading up toward Marshall. So again, we'll be watching any of, okay, so we have a new severe thunderstorm warning for that cell that we were just talking about heading up into the Warsaw area. So looks like right now it's all the way up, possibility of 2-inch hail that is coming through Benton County right now. It's going to be heading up. Affected areas, Whitakerville, Valley View, Gabriel Mills, Dell, White Branch, and Warsaw. So keeping a close eye on these cells out here in front. These look like these might be the ones that have the best potential to become severe, because they are discrete, they are small, and they have plenty of moisture and heat to work with. So be watching this line coming up here through Sedalia. I would not be surprised if Pettis County does not get under some warning here over the next few minutes with any of these little cells moving through Pettis County as well. So keeping a very close eye on this cell down here in southern Benton County right now. We still have a long night ahead of us, guys, because you know We are just looking at this little line of storms right here and this line of storms right here. Now we also have the main dry line is kind of oriented like this. So we still have quite a ways before these cells that are sparking up severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings right now in northern Oklahoma, they are actually going to be moving over into eastern Kansas and then eventually over onto the Missouri side. So we got a pretty active next few hours. We're going to continue to watch this inch and a quarter, $half size hail, 60 miles per hour straight line winds for Benton County heading up toward Warsaw. No, Jordan. I'm not sure why you would ask that, really. Clinton is not going to be put under a warning. These cells are actually moving opposite way of Henry County right now, so they've already passed us. Hi, Jenna. As far as Pettis County, you guys are not under a severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning for that matter right now. All I'm saying is that these little cells right here, they are growing in intensity very quickly. As we've seen this little cell down here just pop up into southwestern Benton County. So watching these cells for any strengthening, and you could be put under a warning here over the next few minutes if any one of these little cells should happen to kind of intensify, maybe have some hail, maybe a strong straight line wind gust. But right now, you guys are not under a warning in Pettis County. So just a recap, we do have thunderstorms coming through Cass County. Right now they are not severe. Around Harrisonville, Archie, Adrian, and Amsterdam, you guys are getting rainfall rates of about half to 3/4 inch an hour. So very heavy rain. But right now you're not under the gun for any kind of warning right now. We do have a very large severe thunderstorm warning extending from Carrollton over to Richmond, Missouri, all the way down to Warrensburg, Knob-Noster area. And this is going to be for 60-mile-per-hour winds. They were also, of course, because those ingredients are strong enough, we are kind of watching for any spin-up variations. What's more impressive is this line from Marshall through Sedalia, which right now we're starting to get a couple hail cores on this one in Pettis County. So would not be surprised at all to see a new severe thunderstorm warning out for Pettis County, for Lamont, Hughesville, Houstonia. It'll be moving off to the north and northeast, so it will not include Sedalia. But Lamont, Hughesville, Hewsonia, this cell is intensifying. We do now have a couple little hail cores. Now we have this really strong hail core down here that's going to be going over Truman Reservoir, the dam, and then eventually up to Warsaw. Right now, that hail core is very impressive. Yeah, very impressive hail core. Definitely getting at least quarter size hail, if not bigger, just southwest of Warsaw right now. Let's take a look and see if we can find a little bit better idea of what the size of this cell is. Wow, yeah. So we're seeing some hail cores being pushed up to almost 30,000 feet above our heads. So that is likely some very, very big hail. At least probably an inch and a quarter to maybe ping pong ball size hail. That's very impressive cell. And again, it's moving on up toward Warsaw and along Highway 65. So this little cell here near Green Ridge also intensifying a little bit. Does have a little hail core just northwest of Green Ridge. And just like that, it lost its hail core, but now we have a new one just south of Green Ridge right now. So again, this line of storms is developing all the way from Marshall straight down to Springfield, and those are the ones that we're keeping a very close eye on for the potential of any stronger severe thunderstorms out ahead of the main line of storms. Yeah, Gail. Emergency management issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Warsaw. Yeah, they're definitely under the gun. And again, it's not showing any. How do I want to say that? It's not showing anything threatening for possible tornadic. This is mainly a hailer right now, but you know we're going to be keeping a close eye on it to see if it should happen to intensify even further. So we're all kind of in the same boat here in west central Missouri. So right now what I'm seeing, this linear complex from Chillicothe down through Higginsville, Odessa, Pleasant Hill, all the way down through Butler. This line right here is more linear, and it's what they call outflow dominant, which is really hard for this line of storm to really intensify, being outflow dominant, which is great news. We do have this secondary line out ahead of the main line of storms we just talked about. These are more discreet. These are likely going to put down some maybe up to quarter size hail or larger, like the one down in Benton County right now could be inch and a quarter to inch and a half hail. But that's primarily going to be the biggest threat with these cells are going to be for hailers. And that threat goes all the way down through Bolivar, follows 13 Highway down through Springfield. Now we also have a line of storms out here that would be coming into southeast Kansas. It stretches all the way into Oklahoma, into Texas. Now this line is also moving east, but the individual cells are moving northeast. So in situations like this, it's very hard to time stamp anything because the line is moving very slowly at say 30 miles per hour. The cells are racing northeast at 40 to 45 miles per hour. So you have more than one direction these cells are going. But so what we're going to have to do is just continue to watch this line of storms out ahead of this primary line for any hailers. We've got Benton County under a severe thunderstorm warning for up to 1.25 inch hail that's getting ready to come into the town of Warsaw, come across 65 highway, right there between Dell and Warsaw. So anywhere along White Branch, if you live down around White Branch, you're going to be in the middle of this hail core. We also have another severe thunderstorm warning that's up here near Marshall. Pettis County, you've got really 2 or 3 cells moving through Pettis County right now. These cells are very strong. They're not severe yet, but they have a history of producing some hail cores. So I wouldn't be surprised if those in Houstonia, Hughesville, Sedalia, Green Ridge, you guys report seeing some pea-sized hail with any of these cells moving through Pettis County. There's no warning with them yet. And then for some of us, we're going to have to wait till this line of storms moves into Missouri before we see any thunderstorms. So it might be a while before those in Nevada, Osceola, Clinton, before we see any rain or thunderstorms as this cold front as well as dry line moves into west central Missouri. Before hail hits Warsaw, right now let's do so really the bullseye of the hail is going to be right at White Branch. So Warsaw, you might catch the tail end of maybe a little bit of hail, but White Branch down south on 65 is going to be the bullseye of the hail core. But we do have some reports of quite a bit of damage up in the Independence, Raytown area. A lot of trees down. So very broad rotation in Benton County right now over Warsaw, and of course this is because of that hail core. Remember, you got to have very strong updrafts created by a mesocyclone, a supercell, that and you have to have that in order for hail to form. So you got to have those strong updrafts to push that hailstone all the way up to almost 30,000 feet above our heads and then freeze. So right now, very broad rotation, a very broad mesocyclone. So right now, tornado threat is not there, but large hail is. So going in from White Branch to Warsaw, down south on 65 to about Dale on the corner of 7 and 65 right now in Benton County. Kind of keeping a little bit of eye on this cell right here. We do have a little bit. It's in a weird spot. It's on the backside, likely going to be from the rear flank downdraft. This will be on the backside of this cell. There is a little bit of rotation near Green Ridge, but that's likely because of the rear flank downdraft is pushing out. You got winds coming from a different direction, but definitely keeping an eye on that as well. You can really see that outflow right along here. You can also see it on velocity scan. You can watch it out ahead of the line of storms. This is going to be rain cooled air, and then once that line comes across that rain cooled air, it weakens it some. That's the reason why you're not seeing any warning coming out for any of these cells down here, because they're weakening. But these cells out here in front of that line, you don't see an outflow boundary on it. They're actually just sucking in that warm moist air, and they're just actually intensifying as this line continues to push off to the north and northeast. Looks like Lincoln is going to go probably just to your east of Lincoln. Wow, Buckner still has power. White Branch. You guys are probably getting some hail right now in White Branch. That's like right over you right now. It's not quite as big as what it was earlier, but probably at least pea to nickel size hail probably at White Branch. Shannon, oh, he's in Warsaw, and you're getting some dime size hail. Okay, in Warsaw. Blowing like crazy at Warsaw.
We got something going on right here.
So what you're seeing here on the screen is actually Team Havoc. So we've got Team Havoc Storm Chasers here in West Central Missouri. They are heading out to towards Sedalia, and they are heading out towards Sedalia right now. So this is going to be, you're actually watching them. They are trying to catch where they're at, maybe on 52 highway. We'll listen in to them here in just a second. They are going to be going over towards Sedalia, as Pettis County has been included into a severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds. It does include the town of Sedalia. Green Ridge, it includes you, but you're behind this cell now. So Smithton, Sedalia, Otterville, Hughesville, Lamont, you're behind this cell right now. So, and that is going to be for 60-mile-per-hour winds. And of course, we have another cell that has developed just south of the cell that came through Warsaw and White Branch. It also has the hail core. We have another cell moving on down south of Hermitage. So, and again, the biggest threat with any of these cells, guys, they're going to produce some large hail. So we do have a hail core right now setting up just west of 65 Highway in Pettis County. This is going to be down just east of just west of Spring Fork. And it's going to continue to move off to the northeast and affect Sedalia and Smithton areas here within the next 20 minutes or so. So it looks like Andy and Team Havoc, they're getting in some torrential rains right now. Let's see if we can go back. Let's see if we can get them on. So we got storm spotters on. There's myself. And let's see if they're going after, see where these guys are at. They're going through the rain right now. Let's see if we can catch him. There's Andy right there. So let me put this over here for you guys. You guys can see. So right now, Andy Hicks and Team Havoc, they are along 50 Highway. And they are going through this cell right here. They're just on the southern side of the little hail core. And as you can see on the screen, they are getting pummeled by very heavy rain right now. We'll minimize that just a little bit so you guys can see radar a little bit better. And again, right here is Team Havoc. And they are heading eastbound on 50 Highway. They're coming into Sedalia. And of course, we've got a severe thunderstorm warning out for Pettis County right now. We'll be keeping a close eye on that here over the next few minutes. Take a look at the cell down in Benton County right now. So Lakeview Heights, Edmondson, you guys are on the edge of this cell that has produced some 1.25 inch hail. The hail core now is just east of 65 Highway, but it will be heading out toward your area here over the next 15-20 minutes. And again, the biggest threat right now with any of these cells out ahead of the main line are going to be hailers. They're not interacting with that lower level rotation like some of these other cells were back in far western Missouri and eastern Kansas, so up in the Kansas City metro. So these are mainly going to be big updraft producers, hailers, but we're going to continue to keep a very close eye on these cells. The line behind it, notice we have that outflow boundary. The outflow of this line of thunderstorms is keeping the rest of these cells in check. So this line of storms is trying to breathe in this warm, moist air to help fuel them, and it's being choked by this rain cooled air. So that's the reason why we haven't seen really any more severe threats or severe thunderstorm warnings along this line, because of that outflow is keeping them in check right now. However, as we back up, we still have this entire line of storms that's going to be pushing its way into the rest of west central Missouri here over the next couple hours. So we're in it kind of for the long haul. This is kind of the northern part. This is the southern part. And then we have the line of storms that are blowing up out ahead of this main line of thunderstorms. So, and this is where we're seeing the most intense cells, is in Benton County and Pettis County right now. And up there in the upper right hand corner, you see that's Team Havoc, and they are just outside of Sedalia. That is their little storm spotter identification tag, so we can kind of keep watch on where these guys are at. See, we got Drew Underwood. I do know Drew. There's Derek Dunn with Nader Boys. He is, of course, that's kind of old data. That was about, yeah, that was a little while ago. That looked like down there right around Shawnee Mound area. I think that's old. Take a look at velocity here real quick. Of course, we still have that broad rotation down here in Benton County, mainly because of the huge updraft that's supporting these hailstones down in Benton County. We also have a few areas of rotation here in Pettis County as well, very broad, and again mainly for the threat of hail. And we see another area rotation down 65, another area of rotation down near Hermitage, and all of these are in association with hail cores. Everywhere where there's a hail core, there's an area of rotation, because you have to have a little area of rotation with the updraft for hail to form. For the rest of us right now, looking at Johnson County, Warrensburg, Cass County, Harrisonville, not much going on at all right now in these areas. Just some moderate rainfall. Not seeing anything severe in Johnson, Henry, Bates, or Cass counties right now. And again, that outflow boundary is stretching all the way from Concordia down through Warrensburg, Knob-Noster, all the way down through just west of Clinton, and all the way down to Rich Hill. So that's going to really lessen the severity of any of these storms with this particular line. And then we'll have to wait to see what this line, as it continues to move off to the east and affect the rest of west central Missouri, we'll see how it interacts with the rain-cooled air that has come across most of west central Missouri so far, at least the northern half. Brett's leaving Sedalia now, hail, and only driving 40 miles an hour. I would say that's some torrential rain right now. And of course, if you're heading west, you'll run right out of it, Brett. Be interesting to see once this little cell here, once we have a cell convergence. That's when you have two cells come together to make one. sometimes they can weaken when that happens and then re-intensify right after. So be keeping a close eye on this. Here over the next couple updates, this cell will likely form and converge into this main cell here just east of Warsaw, and we'll see what it actually does. We could see a little re-intensification of the cell here in Benton County. And remember, Benton County, you guys are not under any kind of watch right now. So, you know, we have a warning out for your area. You're not even in a warning yet. So National Weather Service out of Springfield has not issued any watches out for their area as of yet. All right, let's take a look here at chat. Big straight line winds in Sedalia. Thank you, Renee. Has there been any discussion of tornado risk between Warrensburg and Independence? Well, you are under a tornado watch, but for the most part, the tornado threat has really gone down here over the last 45 minutes to an hour as we've seen that outflow really begin to lessen the intensity of these cells. So keep in mind too, when we're talking circulations, I've seen several people talk about circulations that they see themselves. Now, you know, you have to keep in mind that when the radar sends a beam out to check on velocities, the further away from the radar tower that you get, the higher up that beam goes up into the atmosphere. The reason is because the Earth is round. So the further that beam goes away from the radar site, the higher up into the atmosphere. So that rotation that you might be seeing, say, on velocity scan, is likely not at the surface, but it's up there in the atmosphere at, say, 5,000–10,000 feet above our heads. And even though it is spinning up there, that's creating an updraft and allowing these hailers to form. So kind of keep that in mind. Just because you see rotation on a velocity scan doesn't mean that there's a tornado, by no means. You kind of have to take a few things into consideration a little bit. We switch over to velocity scan, and we do have a circulation that is just east of 65 highway. This is south of Sedalia. We also have one here just east of 65, east of Warsaw and Lincoln area. Now these are likely due to the hail course. But what you look for in this type of scenario, do you have an inflow? Do you see an inflow notch of some sort where you got warm moist air feeding into that cell? Not really much of an inflow notch right now, and so that kind of leads me to believe that that's more hail versus low level rotation. We're still waiting on this cell down here in southern Benton County. Still waiting for this to converge with this cell here. We'll likely see it weaken and then possibly re-intensify as it moves up towards Stover, Versailles, and then on up toward Tipton and Otterville. So of course we still have Team Havoc They are actually right in Sedalia right now, and of course you can see right there on your screen they are in some very very heavy rainfall right now. Maybe even some small hail. What looked like maybe hitting the windshield right now. So we actually the Benton County 911 director Jessica, she just put in a picture of quarter-size hail in Warsaw. What are you smiling? My director's over here smiling at me. They must have discussed that a little bit ago. So again, anybody, as far as ball games in West Central Missouri tonight, keep getting those questions, and I don't have an answer for you guys because it depends on where you're at. Because we've got in Cass County, absolutely not. Johnson County, no. Pettis County, no. Benton County, no. For those in Nevada, Osceola, Lowry City, you got to keep in mind we've got this line of storms that's going to be moving in probably right around the 6-7 o'clock time frame. So I don't think we'll see too many ball games being played in West Central Missouri tonight. Notice we do have some cells popping out ahead of the dry line. And this is near Parson, Kansas, Erie, Kansas, Iola. So we'll be watching them to see if they're doing the same thing that this line of storms did. There's potential we could see more thunderstorm development here in eastern Kansas and then push across the state line. And that would put, such Vernon County, Nevada, Osceola, St. Clair County, Henry County, Clinton, and Butler and Bates County kind of under the gun. So for most of West Central Missouri right now, I'm really focusing on this area down here in southeast Kansas. That's where we're likely going to get our cells from here within the next couple hours. Southeast edge of Sedalia, small hail, larger hail now. Really larger hail now. Brett mentioned just turned on Highway 52 heading home to Windsor, all clear, sun is shining. So yeah, he's on the backside. He's on the backside of this right now. So he turned off on 52 off of 65. So yeah, you've got the sun breaking out there, probably just a little bit cooler. So the severe thunderstorm warning for Benton County has been canceled. And of course we've got that cell convergence likely weakening that cell a little bit. It is going to be coming through. This is right along H Road. So Lakeview Heights, Edmondson. You guys may be getting some small hail. But you are not in a severe thunderstorm warning any longer. But we'll see if that intensifies as it moves over towards Stover, Versailles, Tipton. We'll see what happens there. So thank you guys. I know we've been on quite a while. We've been on almost 3 hours so far. So appreciate you guys sticking around. And again, we knew we were going to kind of have a long night tonight. Got up early this morning, watched the cells this morning, make sure they were going to behave, and they did. thank goodness. And now we are kind of in a waiting game right now. Cass County got into the action. So did Pettis County, Warsaw, Benton County. We got a strong cell down here in Hickory County, down around Hermitage. But for the most part, most of West Central Missouri has stayed relatively untouched with any of these cells so far today, from this morning as well as this afternoon. But you got to keep in mind, we have that dry line stretching all the way through southeast Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. This is what's going to be rotating in as we go through the late afternoon hours into the early evening hours. Nickel-sized hail between Smithton and Sedalia. Yeah, and I think that's what I'm seeing Andy Hicks and Team Havoc going through right now. They are in between Smithton and Sedalia right now on 50 highway. So right now, guys, I tell you what we're going to do. My plan right now, I'm keeping up with everything from the National Weather Service, from Pleasant Hill and Springfield. So once this line out ahead of this main system goes through Pettis County and Benton County and moves off to the east, I think what I am going to do, since that line pretty much fell apart now, that outflow just absolutely just exploded that line of thunderstorms, and they're just little isolated showers, maybe a strike of lightning. So what I might do at that time, we're going to wait to get these cells out of our West Central Missouri counties that we cover. Once that moves off, I think what I'm going to do is I am going to leave. I'm going to go grab a bite to eat for dinner, and then I'm going to go home and get everything fired up at the weather center at home, and then I'm going to be watching this line of storms from Ottawa, Kansas, all the way down into Texas, and we'll watch that dry line actually move across West Central Missouri. And again, we'll be watching for any pop-up thunderstorms out ahead of this line of storms. So we're not in the clear yet. We're still under a tornado watch, but I think the main focus of that tornado watch is likely gone now. However, it is still up. We still need to respect the watches. We still have ingredients there, according to the National Weather Service, that could possibly produce a tornado, but right now I'm not seeing anything that is supporting that right now. Now they might hold that off until this line comes through here in a couple hours, but right now we're looking pretty good with just isolated run-of-the-mill thunder showers out there in our area. So let me jump over here to chat. Why was there another severe thunderstorm warning issued for Sedalia? Well, by the time they decide that they're going to write up a polygon for a severe thunderstorm warning, it's, by the time they do that, with these cells moving as fast as what they are, they highlight the areas that they want to include, and then they broadcast it. Sedalia is actually behind this line now. So if you're in Sedalia, you're sitting in pretty good shape right now. So as you can see, Team Havoc is now out in front of that line of storms. They are sitting right here. So they are just out ahead of that line of storm just east of Smithton. And they're actually looking back toward this cell here. So they've got a good vantage point right now. They might be looking back at this area right here. I don't know if let's see, they need to turn it to the right. So let me have him pan his camera to the right. Hey Andy, if you can hear me, pan your camera to the right along the base. Do you see any kind of lowering there? There's a little bit of rotation there. I just want to take a look here on your stream. If you can pan it to your right as you're driving down 50 highway. We'll give it a minute. There is a little bit of rotation there. Oh, he's turning around. There's a little bit of rotation towards Smithton. So I'm not sure which direction you guys are facing right now. I can't tell. But just right over Smithton, which is south of 50 highway, there's a little bit of rotation there. Some very strong winds. It's almost like right on top of you guys right now, according to your location. And just kind of keep an eye on that. It's moving out of Pettis County right now over toward Otterville, Syracuse, but very, very broad rotation, but it's very strong rotation. So just kind of, and Andy is actually, he said he's close to Smithton. So just kind of want to make sure that they're in a safe spot. Look like they're looking back towards Smithton. So let me look here. Ashley lives in Lakeview Heights. That's my old stomping grounds over there. So you're down there by Edmondson on H Road. Copy that. If one of the guys are on radar right now, you might have them take a look at right where you guys are at. Some very strong winds aloft. Broad rotation, but man, some of those winds 70, 80 miles per hour aloft. So looks like from your location, it's right on top of you right now. So let's take a look at chat here. Let's say from Warrensburg to Appleton. Lauren, I'm guessing you probably want to get home after work, probably. So yeah, you're good to go right now. And again, to go from Warrensburg to Appleton, now's a good time for you to be heading out on the road. So absolutely, Lauren, you are good to go from Warrensburg to Appleton right now. So we still have the backside of these thunderstorms coming through from about Lakeview Heights down to Climax Springs. Those are not severe warned right now. And we still have these cells from Smithton down to M Highway. So we do have, a little bit further south. This is going to be north of Springfield. We got Pleasant Hope. There is a severe thunderstorm warning out for them for quarter-size hail. That is just southwest of Buffalo along 65 Highway. 65 Highway is popular tonight. Seemed like this whole entire line of storms developed right along 65 Highway. So, and again, Smithton, you guys are getting hit probably pretty good right now with torrential rains. Otterville, same way with you guys. Pilot Grove. For the rest of us right now, Knob Noster, Harrisonville, you're getting a little thunderstorm right now. But for the most part, everything is behaving for the time being in all of west central Missouri. So, we got a little bit of time before this line of storms begin to work into our area, guys. So I'll put this into motion. You kind of see the direction. You notice the entire line and the front is moving east, but the individual cells are moving north-northeast. So that's why it takes even longer for this to actually affect most of us here in west central Missouri. So we're going to have to wait on these cells right here in eastern Kansas to continue to intensify and eventually move into west central Missouri. We are going to be watching for any individual cells that might pop up out ahead of it. But I do believe this is a great time for me to take a little break to take a look at all of our all the models, take a look at the latest data, and then be able to get everybody back on track here in about 45 minutes. We'll go back live again with a fresh stream, and then we'll follow these storms as they make their way into west central Missouri. So Columbia right now is you guys are still probably about 25-30 minutes away from getting into this line of storms. Right now there are severe thunderstorm warnings just to the west of Columbia right now, and again you've got more cells that are developing in a line all the way down to Springfield. So you can expect some likely to be under some sort of watch, likely a severe thunderstorm watch, maybe a tornado watch here probably within the next 30-45 minutes in Columbia. So you do have some rough weather that's going to be moving through Columbia here over the next couple 3 hours. Is rocket science okay? Now I'm just gonna take a wild guess. RB, you might be talking Racket, maybe Racket, Missouri, or rocket science. Oh, Racket. Okay, I got you. So yeah, Racket's doing fine right now. We're just gonna have to wait for this secondary line to build up and move closer to west central Missouri, and we'll have additional thunderstorms. Some of them could be severe, and again, I think going forward with this next line, primary threats are going to be strong straight line winds and hail to the size of quarters. I think the tornado threat has greatly diminished here over the last hour or so. We'll likely see that tornado watch expand off to central Missouri and eastern Missouri, but I'd say it would probably be replaced with a severe thunderstorm watch for this secondary line that is posed to come through here within the next hour and a half, 2 hours. Kate says it's getting windy in Calhoun. I don't know, Kate. Now, I had another member from another citizen from Calhoun that gave me this special Subby's Weather Talk Weather Rock, and it's still sitting here on my desk. So this is the forecast for Calhoun. So I don't know if it's really too windy there or not. And we won't go into names of who gave me that weather rock tonight, but
Christina.
Oh, yep, my director just blurted it out. So we were let's see, we were never dominant since creating the Department of Education. Oh, I bet. Well, I can tell you that Pettis County right now, Jana, is you guys are in good shape right now. You're on the backside. Pettis County is now on the backside of this line of thunderstorms, so you guys are sitting in good shape right now. So we're going to be watching this line of actually it looks like it's sinking just a little bit further south, so it might get here a little bit quicker. But it is expanding. These thunderstorms in southeast Kansas, they are expanding. So I'm going to take this breather right now, guys, to go ahead and grab some dinner. And then I will get everything set up at the Weather Center at home. And we will go live, and we'll make it through the secondary line this evening. So I appreciate everybody getting together and being here on all of our streams. We had a bunch of people tonight. I was a little bit shocked being in the middle of the workday, but we had a ton of people in all the streams. Appreciate you guys putting your trust in me. And again, I'm doing this from our emergency management office here downtown Clinton. And of course, I got my director, Mark Harden, right next to me, and he is here while we're doing this in case we need to open up a web EOC, which is the Emergency Operations Center, in case there's any severe weather here in west central Missouri. So far, outside of a couple of reports of wind damage up in far northern Cass County, quarter-size hail in Warsaw, it's been behaving itself quite a bit. So we're thankful for that little outflow that's pushing through Henry County right now. It just come across Clinton, so we might have seen maybe a little bit of a roll cloud come through Henry County. Just a real thin roll cloud all the way across the sky that rolls through, had a little bit cooler air behind it. Might have noticed a little bit of drop in humidity, but hopefully that helps us as the secondary line moves through here a little later. So you can expect me to be going back live here in about probably about an hour. As you can see, they did drop the tornado watch already for Cass and Bates County. So again, we'll continue to see that tornado watch probably drop off, and then a severe thunderstorm watch replace it as we go a little bit later into the evening. So the tornado threat, RB, is basically very, very low for Racket for the rest of the night, but we could still see some robust thunderstorms move through the area. So okay guys, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off now, and be talking to you guys here in about an hour, unless something else pops back up.